Well, good morning. Good morning from the Gwent Levels. It's the 27th of December. Storm Bella has passed through. So Jill and I are on a local walk because we're in lockdown, and walking paths that we know very, very well, which is a little frustrating because we can't travel to exercise. But we're going to show you one of our walks in our local area that, whilst it may lack in beauty, it has plenty of history and interest. So the Gwent Levels that we're walking along at the moment were drained originally by the Romans. Now they're managed by Natural Resources Wales, and there are automatic gates in place and pumps to get the water drained out of the fields and onto the estuary. This walk today will take us on the Wales coast path. We're going to go to Black Rock, where we'll probably have a drink and some food. We'll pass underneath the second Severn crossing, and we'll go past the Severn Tunnel pumping station, and then we'll walk inland into Caldicot, past Caldicot Castle, before we go out to Slade Wood, Carrow Hill, and back to our house via lanes. Hell of a lot of rain over the last 3 or 4 days, and so we're going to stick to a mainly hard-packed track walk today. So hope you enjoy the walk that we're going to take you on. One of the features of interest on this walk is the fact that immediately after Severn Tunnel Junction you get 2 sets of railway tracks. So that's the Gloucester line, and then as we cross this small railway bridge, you then begin to see the work that was undertaken when the Severn Tunnel was built in the 19th century. So there we go. So the top of that fence line, you can just see the top of the Severn Tunnel portal, and then beyond is the cutting that was built by the navigators, the navvies, to access the tunnel. So we're approaching a spot now that is very good photogenically. Just passing, or about to pass underneath the M4, but from a photographer's perspective, and that's something I like to do, this is a great viewpoint of the second Severn crossing. Because of the curve of the bridge, you get a great composition with the bridge coming in on the top left, sweeping down to the H's. And this is a great location to come and take a photograph at sunrise, especially in the light just before the sun comes up. All the street lights are illuminated. You get a fantastic sunrise just to the right of the H's. In the winter, the sun does come up further to the south, but then as the spring comes in, the sun will eventually rise just behind the H's, and it's a great location. So yeah, if you're into photography, you can't really take a bad photograph here. You just need good light. This is Sudbrook Cliffs. If you're travelling across the M4, across the second Severn crossing, you'll often see this down to your left as you're leaving Wales. And the reason I'm talking to the camera here now is because, again, this is another magnificent location for photography. It's these low cliffs with the tide lapping against them, with the bridge in the background. really does once again give a fantastic opportunity to take a great photograph. Very much dependent here on morning sun for the sunrise behind the bridge, and I still maintain that one of my finest images I ever took was from this location on a Christmas Eve many years ago now. The tide wasn't as high as I'd hoped, but the colour in the sky was just fantastic and reflected in the pebbles and the mud, and so yeah, I was very happy with the end result. But you can come here as well for photography in the evening, so you get the evening sun against these rocks, and a view of the bridge over there as well. So yeah, Sudbrook Cliffs, good place to come and catch cod as well in the winter. You see a lot of fishermen down here catching cod. So a little bit further around the Wales coast path now as we approach Sudbrook. Here we are, the Holy Trinity Church, or ruins of. Archaeological work has taken place here. They know that there were tiles on the floor with aisles. Active in 1560 for sure, decayed by 1755, and now a pretty sorry ruin. However, it has been cleared of vegetation in the last couple of years to expose some of the stonework. This red brick building is the Severn Tunnel pumping station. In 1879, when the Severn Tunnel was being built, the Great Spring was breached. It was the water table, and it flooded the tunnel workings. It took until 1881 for them to stem the flow, and a guy called Alexander Lambert, a diver, was sent down with oxygen on his back, really rudimentary equipment that was cutting edge at the time, in order to try and seal the plug so that the water could be stemmed. Anyway, that was successfully done, and the tunnel was finally finished, and now that tunnel has 63 million litres of water per day pumped out of it by this machine here. So just have a think about that next time you're going through the Severn Tunnel on a train. It would flood quite quickly. These are the remnants of bricks made at this location for the Severn Tunnel. This is where the bricks were made that line the tunnel, and in total 76 million bricks were made at this location. Now it's very peaceful, quiet bit of estuary with a view of both bridges. That's the original Severn Bridge further up river, and Jill and I are going to have a cup of coffee sat looking at the view. This is a statue of a lathe fisherman at Black Rock. Ancient art of fishing on the Severn with a huge net. Goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. Licenses are issued from within families, so it's a father to son type scenario. And very few fish are actually caught in this manner. But I do understand that Natural Resources Wales are putting pressure upon the lathe fishermen with regards to their activity, but long may it continue, I say. This is Black Rock, and in the water there you can just see the remains of a pontoon that used to go out into the water. So before the Severn Tunnel was built, this is where rail passengers would have come to. The trains used to go out onto the pontoon, passengers would disembark, get onto the boat, which would then take them across the Severn, where there'd be another train waiting on the other side to take them and continue on their journey. Sadly, all that's left now are just the wooden foundations of what was a huge pontoon. What a great place to get across the estuary. So our proposed route was to come through the grounds of Caldicot Castle, but as you can see, the River Nedden has flooded its banks and we won't be doing that. But look, I just want to show you this tree. It's a magnificent specimen. Unfortunately, I cannot get any closer because of the amount of water in front of me. In fact, I've already got a wet foot. That tree is well loved by local photographers. It's such a iconic tree, particularly when it floods here like this, that you can get some really nice shots of it in the winter light. I've got one lovely shot of it in the snow with a young girl and her dad walking past it, and I managed to capture them and create a lovely snowy image. Anyway, we'll have to find a different route now. So since we've left Black Rock, we've walked through the town of Caldicot. Unfortunately, we missed the castle grounds and the castle because of the flooding. But we're now on to the abandoned Justo golf course. Used to be two 18-hole courses here. It's now returned to farmland, and always seems a little odd walking across this golf course knowing that it was pristine in places with the greens and the tees, and now it's just pasture land again. From here we're going to enter Slade Woods, and then we'll make our way back to our village, probably via a road that takes us to Carrow Hill. So yeah, really enjoyed the sunshine. It's cold, but it's a lovely winter's day, and I hope you've enjoyed all the interesting historical information which I've been sharing as we've walked along our lockdown walk from home. Coming to the end of our lockdown walk now. Done about 13 miles. Just going to walk past a farm called Storefields Farm. It's about 2 miles back to our house from here. Hope you've enjoyed the historical aspect of the walk. It may not be the mountains, it may not be the moors, but it's what we can do at the moment locally because of the lockdown. Although we were surprised at the number of people who are out driving their cars to the beauty spots, because we thought that wasn't allowed, and we're not quite sure if it is or not. But we know we're lawful, so we've had a good time. And thank you for watching. See you on the next video.